it goes.
Does
Ladies
it
and
come?
gentlemen, very welcome to another Achievers Online University Master Talk with David John Sinclair as featuring Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, our master teacher, spiritual lecturer, book author of the book The Power of Present Moment, owner of CanadianSpiritualCenter.com. And Sanjeev, I welcome you very much and congratulate also for your new wonderful website, sunteaching.com. For all our spectators, this is SAN teaching.com, where you can discover wonderful insight and Sanjeev's activities. So, very happy to have you here, my friend. Welcome, Sanjeev.
Yeah. Thanks. How are you?
I am very excited because we have an amazing topic for today. And due to popular demand and due to events that occurred in the world, we decided to make this master talk with a topic about depression, how to overcome it, and looking at the energy of depression from very different angles and giving many interested people who mailed me insight, tips, and let's look at depression in a way that everybody who is watching us right now or hearing the audio later gets a lot of insight, gets a lot of tips. So happy to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Sanjeev, the first question that popped into my mind was depression is just a word that is in the mouth of many people. There are a lot of articles about depression. There are a lot of blog posts about depression. And let's start with the question, what is depression? And what are the signs and symptoms of it? Please answer this question first.
Depression is one of the most common mental and psychiatric disorder which can affect our mood in the form of sadness and disappointment, I can call it, characterized by inability to focus and concentrate of whatsoever we are doing. There is a loss of sleep that is called insomnia, or sometimes patients go for oversleeping, loss of appetite, or overeating, worthlessness, helplessness, hopelessness, guilt, feeling of shame, anger, irritabilities, restlessness. There is always short tempered. There is decrease in activity of daily living. Suppose if you are asking them to clean your house, they may clean it, but they could leave some dust particle on the floor. It means ultimately it is decreasing the productivity level.
Mhm.
There is a chances of committing suicide. There is a feeling of death in the future. level of energy, or we can call it there is a dissipation of energy for no apparent reason because they get tired, exhausted very much. They always feel down immediately whatsoever they are doing. So these are the signs and symptoms of depression.
So, when I get you right, Sanjeev, people who are suffering with depression, and I can imagine that this causes feelings of suffering, that those people are in lower vibrations, that those people are away from the joy of the present moment, that those people are, when I understand you right, in less awareness what's going on around them, mainly focusing on the feelings of depression, that they are less productive, and that depression has a lot of symptoms like insomnia and what you listed here so wonderfully for us, that this talk is definitely extremely important to show that there is a lot of hope, that there is a lot of ways to change the state of being depressed into a state of connectedness. Uh, Sanjeev, many people asked, how can you check out or how can you know that a person is depressed?
As I explain you, there are so many signs and symptoms of depression. When you find a person with more than 5 or 6 sign and symptom of depression, then you can feel that the person is depressed.
Would you say that depression also affects how a person is talking, how a person is moving in everyday life, how a person is expressing physicality, like having the head hang down, like having the shoulders low, or talking with a voice that is definitely indicating I'm feeling depressed? Does depression also show in the body or how a person behaves?
Yes, you are totally right. Whenever depression happens, you can feel that the person has decreased interest in activity of daily living. You could feel the body language, body perception, body image. There is a breaking in the voice. They might not talk to you properly. They will be more into the past or future. There is a frequency of talking too much, and they may be full of delusion.
Mhm. So I had a woman who had a conversation with me, and she was asking me what are the causes of depression. Many people are excited that we have the talk today, and there are a lot of students asking about depression, and many of them have been asking, we would love to know the causes of depression. What causes this suffering for the people that they feel depressed?
Anybody can develop depression at any point of time. There is no particular reason for it, but still I can say that the causes of depression is unknown. There is lots of research is going on, but right now they found that some of the depression happens due to the chemical changes in our brain cells. The another researchers just discovered that there is some life event situation which happens into our life, like there is a loss of somebody else whom you love very much, there is a loss of family member, there is a loss of close friend, and you keep on thinking about them, then you can go for the depression. If there is a relationship breakdown, the person can go into the depression. But what I said, that the causes of depression is unknown. Like sometimes the women get more depressed than men because they go for pregnancy, and they also go for postnatal development. Like when there is a baby comes out, there is a frequent chances of depression. Sometimes people get depressed in corporate sector when they have too much stress level, and they keep on thinking about the past and the future, and ultimately they met with depression.
So you said depression is a feeling that can be triggered by many different situations.
Right.
And what I understand is you mentioned past and future.
Yes.
Would you think that depression is also characterized by having feelings of lack, that something is missing?
Yes. If someone is missing, or something is missing in your life, then you might fall into the phases of depression.
I guess you built a wonderful bridge here to the next question: what are the treatment options? Because I also had a conversation with a person that I was coaching who asked, well, can't we look at depression as a message in a bottle from the soul? Like telling us there is something inside you that you want to change. There is something inside you that there is more. You currently are separated from joy. You are separated from bliss. You are separated from your inner divinity. And that depression also can be a wake up call showing the individual you have the desire inside to experience higher vibrations. You have the desire to reconnect with your soul again, or you have the desire to align with your divine source again. So that depression might also be a message in the bottle for the soul, a wake up call, or a shaking, hey, feeling depressed isn't the natural state of being for you. Feeling depressed isn't why you are here on this earth. Feeling depressed is just a state that you need to and that you can change. So let's talk about the treatment options. You're such an expert in spiritual lectures. And tell us about treatment options for depression. And what I was thinking, meditation might be a good tool and a good help to overcome depression. So please be so kind, Sanjeev, and tell us about your insight about treatment options for depression and how meditation can help to overcome it.
There are several treatment options available in order to overcome depression. Before we start our talk about the treatment plan, we must know basically exactly what is clinical depression. The depression is a collection of negative thought, emotion, energy, insight in the form of worry, anxiety, fear, hatred, jealousy, etc. So what happens when you keep on collecting all kinds of useless and garbage thoughts? As we know that we go for 65,000 thoughts in a day, but 99.99% of the thoughts are useless, unproductive, worthless. So as soon as we go for all kinds of the thoughts, when we don't do meditation properly, what happens? That it keep on accumulating inside and it just reflect in the form of depression. And this is called clinical depression. So the first treatment for depression, we can go for the antidepressant drugs. These are the drugs which are given to the patient for severe or moderate depression. But it doesn't alter your circumstances, but it just is the sign and symptom of your depression. Like it can ease with low mood, it can help you to in to maintain the sleep, it can help you to just overcome the body energy level. That's all. But it doesn't cure and heal you properly. The second method is cognitive behavior therapy, which is a part of meditation practice. First of all, we should know what is cognitive behavior therapy. The meaning of cognition is just perception, memory, judgment, all these things. As I explained you, that we go for more than 65,000 thoughts in a day and 99.99% are garbage, useless. So when we think about the negative pattern of thinking, what happens that it created some kind of depression inside us. So cognitive behavior therapy, it is just the method to change the negative pattern of thinking into positive pattern of thinking. Like the way if a person is suffering from depression, what would we do? We would like to encourage and help them to read good books, to attend workshops, to create a healthy and positive environment. It means we are just trying to change the negative pattern of thinking into positive pattern of thinking. We just encourage them to live a good life with a peace, with a loving compassion, and they should try to get connected with the right kind of the people. It is just the way of conversion of thinking pattern of our life. The second part is the behavior therapy. Behavior just reflect when we talk to somebody else, like behavior is full of body language, body perception, body image. So it is the way how you react with the people. So when you are connecting with the people who are suffering from depression, if they react with other people, they should act with positive behavior. It means we are trying to convert the behavior approach of human bodies who are suffering from depression. The third practice to overcome depression is dynamic meditation practice with group therapy. So what is that? As we know that the dynamic meditation is full of crying, laughing, tearing down, screaming, just to outlet of our inside energy. As I explained, that depression is full of negative thought energy inside, and it keep on accumulating inside, which started creating the different episode of depression. But when it keep on accumulating inside, it creates so many problems. so it needs outlet. So we can go for the laughter therapy, like there are so many people who could laugh in a group. They could go for the laughing, screaming, tearing down. They could go for whatsoever like like them. Another part of treatment method is you need to explore the thing which you like. Suppose if a person is suffering from depression and if he likes to go for walk, we should let him go for the walk. If he likes to go for painting, arts work, clay work, or whatsoever he like, we can encourage and support them. Because what will happen, though he has already collected all kinds of negative energy into the form of depression, we will tell them to go for preparation of some arts or craft work. Maybe they can go for painting, they can go for the dancing, they can go and play with the music, whatsoever they like. So what will happen basically, if he can go for the making a painting, he will try to put the physical and mental energy into the painting. So there is a change in conversion of negative energy into positive energy. It means that the energy of depression can be converted into the energy of painting, energy of something else. So gradually what will happen, he will just disconnect with all kinds of depression, and it will be full of creative work, and it can be done in group or whatever they like. So another method to overcome practice is, I can call it the meditation practice, or or maybe mindfulness meditation, I can call it, because the depression is also happening because the person is living into the past or future. They are not living into the moment. Yes. And the mindfulness teaches us how to live right now here. The more you live into this moment, the past is not affecting you into this moment. The future is not affecting into this moment. So why can't we live with mindfulness? Why can't we live with full of joy into this moment? The more you live into this moment, you will see that the negativity will keep on dissipating. Or what you call it, the energy of anger, the energy of frustration, the energy of fear in the form of depression, it might vanish away because you are just present into this moment and you can get rid of depression. The another method to overcome depression is just you should let go of everything and let the depression happens. What I said, let go of everything, let go of fear, let go of past, let go of future, let go of everything, and just let the depression allow it to happen with full intensity. What does it mean? You don't resist or don't force or don't stop to depression to happen. It means you need to let it happen with full intensity. Because if a person is getting depression in the first hand, it is okay because everybody has to go for depression in their life little bit. So there is no problem with it. But the person who go for the depression, only he can feel the intensity of happiness in the next moment. So even you could realize and experience into your life that whenever you are having happiness in the next phase, what happens? You get little bit depression. But it is not clinical depression. It is a common depression. And it has its own beauty of it. And because what I said, days come, night goes, the peace come from the chaos. Everything keep on moving. It is just like rotating positivity and negativity into our life. And that is called completeness. It is on the same way that the electricity is produced with the help of positive and negative pole. So the first depression, when it happens, it is not the clinical depression, but it is just an indication of incoming of happiness into our life, which are required. But sometimes what happens that the person, when they go for regression, like if they have not experienced, if they have not explored or discovered themselves, like why this thing is happening, so what happens at that point of time, they can go for the regression. It means they would be thinking it should not have happened, this should not have happened, what would have happened in past, what will happen in the future, if I were there, the things would be different. When they keep on creating all kinds of nuisance, all kinds of nuisance questions, such kinds in the form of regression, Then the second depression happened. And the second depression is the clinical depression. It means the first depression is beautiful, it has beauty of it. But when the second depression happened, it's the full of clinical depression. So we need to avoid this kind of depression into our life. Otherwise, we will miss the beauty and the bounty of the first depression, and which is not exactly the depression. So when the second depression happens, then we can go for the mind meditation. Like we can deeply connect with the nature. We can go and spend our life with the rocks, mountain, with the ocean. The one of the good method to overcome the depression, as I discovered, last year, like I had few clients who are suffering from depression in America. They have contacted me. So I just advised them that, okay, don't worry. They have been under medication for the last 20 years,
Oh.
And one girl from Australia, and she had been on medication for the last 5 years.
Wow.
So those girls have contacted me, and you know what happened? Like I told them simply, don't worry whether you are getting depressed or not depressed. It doesn't matter at all. But what you need to do, you just wake up early in the morning or go for the morning walk, because when you take the fresh air, it is full of oxygenated air, and it can rejuvenate and it can, refresh your mind, because refresh your mind and brain cell, and it will keep you full of positivity. It will keep you higher vibration. It will take all kinds of the garbage thoughts away from you, because it will just heal you from inside. And the fresh air has very powerful energy. When it goes inside, definitely it will create a miracle and abundance into your life. So those girls have keep on moving in early in the morning, and definitely it had helped them very much. To I cannot say like how much they were happy after that, and that was my own discovery. So there is nothing wrong to go early in the morning, for morning walk and take a fresh oxygenated air. Help you to get rid of the depression. And the last method of depression, as what I think, why can't we develop the feeling of loving, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, and gratitude towards everything? Because we are one with everything. When we develop this kind of feeling, so what will happen? We will get rid of all kinds of negativity, the bundle of negativity, the bundle of fear, the bundle of thoughts of fear, or the bundle of thoughts of anger, irritabilities, and there are so many things. Because it happens when we are doing everything with the ego, and ego creates problem into your life, and ego can help you to go into the depression, which is not good. So when we think that we are one with everything, and they are not different than us, then there is no chances of depression. Because what I said, depression happens as a result of thinking of all kinds of negativity, garbage, useless thoughts in the form of anger, irritabilities, or whatever you call it. So these all anxiety, the energy of an anxiety, the energy of anger keep on accumulating, and it create depression. But when we think that we are one with everything, there is no difference between us and them, so there is no point of having depression, and we can enjoy our life happily. And that's the way it works.
Sanjeev, that is such an abundance of thoughts and solutions and ideas that you just presented. That we all can just breathe deeply and relax and digest everything that you are offering here. And I might sum it up a little bit for our listeners and spectators to sort it for them how I have understood you. First, the interesting thing is when we talk about depression, we are talking about a quality of energy, and we are talking about an emotion. So, what you said triggered a lot inside me from a session that I had with a young lady who asked the right questions. Because she began to appreciate and embrace that she has a variety of different feelings. People who suffer from depression are also victims of the illusion that this feeling stays forever. And that this feeling, a person who feels depressed and really suffers, is captured by the illusion that feeling of depression will just stay. That won't ever change. But the interesting thing is, when you ask them, did you experience moments of happiness in your life? Did you experience situations that brought you joy? Did you experience luck in your life? Then they label and watch differently at situations. Yeah, I have witnessed the birth of two of my wonderful kids. I attended every birthday of them. I bought every birthday cake. But the thing is that when you add the real feelings of depression up and sum that up in minutes or hours, the real deep feelings of depression are not much more condensed of the feeling than a few weeks compared to a full lifetime. Many people have wonderful situations, wonderful events, many energies of happiness, but they don't have the golden key to access them in the states of depression. So what you told us so valuable right now, nature, connecting to the fresh air, connecting to the wind, connecting to the trees, connecting to rocks, going outside, cleanses internally and refreshes body, mind and soul. And what I consider completely valuable, you talked about dynamic meditation, laughter and movement. When people experience that it's okay to have a variety of different feelings, how boring would that be if you had only the ability to feel happiness? You can also feel the ability of laughter. You can also feel the moment of curiosity, also feel the moment of alignment. So when we advise people to exercise, go dancing, when you are depressed, just move, just dance, just make that depression a movement and dance it into a more positive symbol, dance it into more positivity. And also, let yourself be surprised when you close your eyes. Make a symbol of the depression that you are feeling. Thank that feeling of depression for having been there and telling you the message that it's about to get back into alignment. Get back into connection to your divinity. And find that song of life that's so unique, and find that dance of life. So dance your life again. Move, get into nature. You have the power, and I can spread the message to everyone who feels the feeling of depression. You have the emotion, but you are not the emotion. You are much more than the emotion that you are feeling. So move your body, dance, sing, be creative, like Sanjeev said, make a painting. And I want to add that those prescription drugs are like patching a patch on a wounded skin at your hand, and they have also very much side effects. So prescription drugs are something that should be treated very cautiously, and meditation is something that the people can do any time of day. People can go into nature, people can open the window and smell fresh air, and people can do connectedness meditations every time. And Sanjeev, before I ask you a student question, we experienced very much positive effects when we gave a person, and there can be enormous sadness during the day that doesn't need to be labeled depression. Like someone has comes home with a bad grade in school and is just sad because he or she would have loved a better grade in the test or something. So we have made great experiences by giving a person who is depressed an apple and say, okay, take that apple and touch it. Describe what you feel from the apple. Describe the variety. Smell the apple. Taste it. And tell me about 5 different qualities what you taste. 3 different texture qualities what you touch. And how would that apple sound if the apple would be a song? How would the apple smell if the apple would be a perfume? So you talk very much about awareness. It's just connect to the world around you with different angles, with different perceptions, and open yourself up for let the light into the window of your soul. And first of all, whenever you are feeling depressed, know that that you are never alone, that there are people around you who are willing to listen when you open up, when you share, and when you consider yourself to be worthy enough to open up for others to help you. And you qualify for this because you are hearing the audio, you are watching our talk, and that means there is not only a light at the end of the tunnel, that there is light all around. And this is why I'm dressed that way. You might feel blue, but there is always white around you. So whenever you feel blue, you are allowed to focus on the light, on the positivity, and on the light around you. And that means that we can come to the student questions. There have been many student questions mailed to us, Sanjeev, and
Okay.
meditation is definitely one wonderful tool. And I guess meditation is a topic that we can advise every spectator and every listener to also watch our YouTube video that you did about meditation, to also listen to your recording about meditation that has many tips and insight how to meditate. And one important thing is also when it comes to depression, change your self-image, change your self-concept, look what kind of beliefs you have. That belief change helps, uh, that depression shifts quicker than some people might think. So we have a question from a woman who asked, is it really possible for someone to reprogram DNA or to reprogram the brain to overcome depression?
So it is very wonderful question that we can reprogram or rewire our brain cell to overcome depression. First of all, we should know what is reprogramming, reconditioning, or rewiring. As I explained, that 99% thoughts when we don't do meditate, it is full of useless, worthless, and garbage thoughts in a day because our brain are programmed to go for this kind of thoughts, like the way we are more rewired or reconnected or reprogrammed with all kinds of the negative thoughts if we don't do meditation. So what I said, that first you have to deprogram your brain cells in order to reprogram your brain cells. So whatever is going, suppose if I would like to go for depression all the time, it means I program my brain cells to go for depression because I would be thinking more about the negative garbage and the thoughts of fear, anger, all these things. Because I have already programmed my mind or brain cells. So we have to deprogram it first of all, or decondition it. How can you do it? That is the question.
Yes.
The answer is that we have to think, act, and we have to put the thing in our subconscious mind that we have to get more success. We have to live in a peace and harmony. We have to live with positivity. We have to live with the optimistic. We have to live with all kinds of positive thoughts with the help of meditation. But before what I said, that we have programmed our brain cells to think about negativity, to think about chaos and turmoils, to think about negativity. So first of all, we have to decondition all these kinds of things. Then we have to reprogram it. It means we will think only about the positivity, we will think only about the peace, we will think only about the loving forgiveness kindness because we are trying to reprogram it. We will think only about the success, we will think how to quit smoking, we will think how to quit alcohol. So this is deprogramming and reprogramming. In the same way, whenever we go for the depression, what happens that we go for just reprogram our brain cells that we have to go for depression, and that's why the things happen. It has start manifesting in our life, maybe in the form of anger, fear, or just living the past or future in the form of depression. That is right. So the question is that how can you reprogram or recondition our brain cell in order to overcome depression? It means we have to just feed up our mind in a subconscious mind particularly, that we have to live positively, we have to live happily, we have to live with joy, happiness, bliss, we have to live with optimistically, we have to live with loving forgiveness, kindness. So definitely it will help us to overcome the depression. That is my answer.
That reminds me of a talk that I had with a 12-year-old girl where, and I'm a firm believer in the wisdom of the children, as children are very deeply connected to their divine energy. And I asked her, you are painting so wonderful pictures at school in your arts class. What do you do when you are sad? And she looked at me and said, I do the flight exercise. And I said, huh? The flight exercise? And she said, you know, Uncle David, when I am sad, I close my eyes and imagine a balloon. And I let all that sadness flow into the balloon, and the balloon grows and becomes bigger until there is all sadness contained in the balloon. And then I imagine a scissors, take that scissors and cut the rope of the balloon, and let the balloon fly into the sky where there is wonderful light at the sky, and the balloon disappears. And the higher the balloon goes into the light, the more the sadness vanishes. And my mom has told me to touch my heart and to just let that light go into my heart where there has been the sadness before. So that girl taught me a lot of how to release feelings when you have appreciated yourself, that you have such a variety that also has sadness or depressive feelings, that you can label like just a variety of feelings. So we are also talking about the art of allowing joy, allowing bliss, allowing connectedness, and receiving it. Sanjeev, another question from a student was in cases like depression is self inflicted and depression becomes recurring, comes back again and again, and already affects a relationship. What is the best advice you can give to a person that has been impacted by another person sabotaging the relationship with depression? For example, when there are a man and a woman in a relationship and one of them uh, has depression and the depression comes again and again and the relationship is affected, like the other person begins to suffer, begins to wake up sad, begins to be aggressive, begins to be like infected by the depressive feelings of the other person, and that the relationship is sabotaged. What would be your advice? What is the best advice you can give the person who is impacted? Like the woman or the man who entered the relationship with joy, and the other person always influences the relationship with dark energies, with depression, and with sadness. What would you advise the person who has been impacted so much?
Depression, as you talked, it is a self-inflicting and recurring. It means it is happening frequently.
Yes.
And definitely it can affect the relationship. So my advice for them, first of all, they should know who they really are by asking deep inside question like who are they, what is their purpose, why they are here, and it can take place only through the power of meditation. Once they know who they really are, it means they try to know themselves. And as soon as they try to know themselves, they can reprogram or rewire themselves. It means they might not think that it is a self inflicting, it is happening again and again. Instead, they will think that it is not the depression, but it is the indication of happiness. And it might not happen. It means they have to reprogram or rewire or recondition whatsoever they are facing the problems into the form of depression. And the second, as I explained you, the method is meditation, mindfulness, and having a deep connection with the nature. When they will follow this kind of the method, definitely they will get rid of depression and their relationship might improve in the form of joy and happiness because they can know one another, like why they are here, why the depression is happening, how can we get rid of the depression, or why. When they will go for the self realization, when they will ask deep inside question within themselves, then there is no depression. But depression is a just indication of happiness when they go in the long run.
So, as I understand you, one advice is introspection. And when you are in a relationship where you are impacted so much by a depressive spouse or by a depressive wife or husband, search inside yourself and find your purpose. And there might be situations where a person also can decide, I am so much valuable and I consider myself so much worthy that I am not here at the earth to be always downsized from energies that are not healthy for me.
Yes.
And then you know what to do when you consider your worthiness and you stand up for yourself. So introspection is a wonderful key to find your purpose and to ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I in this relationship? What are my goals in this relationship? And what am I wanting to experience? Or what
Yes.
I want to create for myself. The last question that I picked from the questions coming in is, Sanjeev, when depression is caused by the people around you, like family pressure, and there have been students where I worked with in coaching, their parents had a certain idea what they needed to have as profession. For example, when the father had failed in his career and he inflicts very much pressure on his son that the son needs to make up for the failure of the father, failure in his mind. So, in any case, depression is when a person feels very much forceful energy from the family, or there are countries where women are forced to marry men that they don't love because the family benefits from the connection, and you have no one to get help from, or you are too afraid to open up to other people. What would be the best self-help action that a person can do when depression is caused by family pressure?
You are right that it happens in our society that the person is getting depressed from somebody else because they are creating unnecessary pressure, maybe from father, mother, or whoever they are, and ultimately it create depression. But you are right. Question that do a person has to open up with other people? I can say that if a person is suffering from depression, pressure created from somebody else, then they must open up with right kind of the people. It means the person who can advise you correctly, the person who can take care of you, the person can understand you, who you really are. So we should not afraid to open with the right people.
Yes.
But again, there is a one problem which is coming that the depression is happening. The negative energy keep on accumulating inside. If we don't share with the right people, what will happen? It will keep on accumulating more and more, and it will burst out into the form of depression. So it is more worst. So my advice for them, they should open with the right kind of the people. If they don't find the right kind of the people, they should go for the dynamic meditation practice. They should go for the morning walk. They should go for the laughing practice by sitting with some other people. If not any people are there, they should leave alone and they will keep on laughing. They will keep on tearing down because this is the way to channelizing the energy level. Suppose if you got depressed and you are not sharing your energy level to somebody else, what will happen? There is an increase in the energy level within you into the form of anger, worry, fear, anxiety, whatsoever it is, and it will create more and more depression, and you will suffer a lot into your life. So my answer is yes, you can share with the right kind of the people if the people is present. But if there is no people present, the right kind of the people, don't worry at all. You should go for the dynamic meditation practice. You can live with the nature. You should connect yourself with the water, with the moon, because the sun is there, the water is there, the plant is there. They also take breath like us, so they are much more connecting with us, and definitely we can share our depression with them, and the nature would take care of us.
And one thing is for sure, as I thank you for this amazing talk again, we are
Yes.
here for other intentions, dear spectators and dear listeners, than to replace your doctor and then to replace the professional help that you might already have. Keep it and work with the people that you are already working with. We are not here to replace them. We don't give any medical advice that you could make us responsible for. We just are here to inspire you. We are here to give you our opinions, to let you gain insight, and we are here to spread joy and positivity and hope. First, you are never alone. Have the courage to connect yourself with people who trust. Open up, connect with the world around you, connect with a conscious way of living and eating, connect with nature, dance or sing and find your song of life, find your life's purpose. Embrace that you have a variety of feelings and remember you have feelings, but you are never your feelings. You are much more than this. And be so creative to ask the right questions like, are you depressed enough to let depression go and replace it with joy right now? Maybe sooner than you
Yes.
think. Some people
Yeah.
notice that they are so depressed that they are fed up with depression and immediately open up for other perspectives and experience joy from the next morning on that stays with them forever and a day. So we could have made the talk shorter and quicker and just 1 minute and say, just find something you are happy about and you feel deep joy and exactly find the right song and stay that way. But that
Yes.
would have cut you off from the variety that you have. You are a wonderful being. You are always much more than you think about yourself. And
Yes.
that means you who have been listening and watching have our gratitude, have our appreciation. Join us for our next talks. You can join also Achievers Online University. Look at the text under the video. You can find Sanjeev at Facebook. Friend him at Facebook. You can friend me at David John W. St. Clair. There are many options. Just write us an email, write us a message. We are here for you. We are happy to answer your questions. And think about sunteaching.com or my website, stclair-change-works.com. This is not a talk from the top of the mountain where you don't see us again. We are here to connect with us. We are here to help. And we are people that you can touch and hear and talk to. And we are just here to bring you joy, health, positivity, and inspiration. So, Sanjeev, namaste,
Yeah.
and
Thanks.
thank you very much for a wonderful talk again. My gratitude
Yeah.
and
You.
appreciation to all of you listeners. Harvest hope, harvest joy, harvest happiness, and see you next time for the next talk. Goodbye. See you next
Goodbye.
time.
See you. Yeah.